Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our Ciena Solutions Challenge student panel discussion featuring our student teams from Brazil, India, Nigeria, and Uganda. So we're so excited to have our panel discussion today. As your panel moderator, my name is Carissa Bowen. I'm from Maryland in the United States. And I primarily manage and oversee the Ciena Solutions Challenge program here at Digital Promise. And I'll let my colleague Jess introduce herself.
Thanks, Carissa. Hi, y'all. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jess Alanis, and I'm from South Texas in the United States. So you're going to see me in the chat throughout the session, and you're more than welcome to leave comments for our amazing panelists today. And if you have any specific questions, please use the Q&A feature here on Zoom, and we'll be answering those questions towards the end of today's session. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. And for both our audience and our panelists, if you want to always have captions displayed, if they are available in your functions, which they should be, you can adjust the accessibility settings to ensure that this happens. So just ensure that your your closed captioning is on during this time by clicking the checkbox to enable always showing captions. And that way you can see it in a language that you can view. So this is just a message for the audience today. As you listen to today's presentation, we invite you to share your thoughts, your observations, and any questions that you have for any of the student teams by using the prompts that you see on the screen. You are invited to share your thoughts in the chat box, and at the end of today's session, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions to the panelists today. So some of your questions may be related to, what is something that the team learned? What did today's discussion make you think of, or what did you learn about the presentations that you heard from today? Was there anything unique or inspiring about student teams' work that you want to comment or share your thoughts about? And if there are any questions or any sort of learnings or something that raised a question for you, you're welcome to share that in the chat box today. So feel free. This is at the end of today's call, it'll be an open discussion, and we're excited to hear a little bit more from the students themselves. So just giving everyone a little bit of context about the Ciena Solutions Challenge. If this is your first time hearing about the challenge, the Ciena Solutions Challenge is a global design challenge that invites students and teachers to design solutions to real problems or issues in order to take action to build a better world around them. And since launching in 2021, we've had more than 550 teachers from schools and youth organizations across 67 countries that have engaged with the challenge. And so, we're so excited to have seen some of the great work and products that and innovations that students have been able to create and produce all on their own with resources that are accessible to them. Using the challenge-based learning framework, teachers and students have collaborated to think big about compelling issues, ask meaningful and thoughtful questions, and design actionable solutions to those questions. And so students that participated in the challenge submitted their creative products and innovations like podcasts, digital games, apps, data visualizations, interactive maps, or something else. A lot of students kind of created things that you have not seen before. So they did that by leveraging digital tools and technologies that are around them and accessible to them. And so additionally, those student teams that applied for a sustainability award, and for the teams that you'll hear from today, have been awarded a $2,500 USD sustainability award that would help them scale and sustain their solutions to something else that they kind of have in their future. And so we would like to take this opportunity to also thank the Ciena employee volunteers for joining the challenge in terms of being able to provide really great feedback for all of the student teams that participated in the challenge. And also we might have a few of the Ciena employees on the call today in our audience. And so we'd like to thank you for, again, joining and sharing your feedback and your expertise that inspires, motivates, and encourages each team to continue to scale their designs in the future. So thank you so much for joining and being a part of this challenge. In the second year cycle of the Ciena Solutions Challenge, over 500 educators from 67 countries globally participated by registering for cienachallenge.org, attending a professional learning session, or submitting a project. And so, we have so many different types of projects. We've had lots of different types of innovations, all the way from something like a water irrigation system to an app created by students that helps to address and target food waste. These projects really represent the creativity and innovation of young people from around the world. And so we're so proud to celebrate the student teams joining us today and throughout the remainder of the YouthMADE Festival. And so I'd like to take an opportunity just to introduce our panelists, AKA our student teams. So we have our students from Brazil, from Sao Paulo, Brazil, that and our educator, Edmundo Gomez Jr., that is going to be, that has facilitated that student team. We have our student team from, excuse me, this is a little bit of a typo. We have our student teams from Nigeria, our next student team from Uganda, and our student team from India. So we will move on to the next slide. And so in a few sentences, we're going to start off with an icebreaker today. We'd love to hear from the students, just to give them an opportunity to break the ice. So in the chat box, please share a few sentences of why you enjoy making art, activism, or design in your community. And if you're typing your response in the chat box, please be sure to include your name and the country you are joining from today. So we'll spend a couple of minutes on this section. And if we have any of our panelists, any of the students that would like to maybe come off mute and maybe share their response out loud, you are welcome to do that too.
May I share?
Yeah, of course.
So I think that every community has something that is unique to itself, something that it can share with the world. So if we make art, engage in activism or design, that's an opportunity for us, especially young learners, to present that unique trait to the world and do something that can make a change.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to share? If you want to share a little bit later, that's okay too. So
okay.
we will.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, one of our creator here would like to share.
So why I love making is I love to share my ideas with others. Even though we may not be able to communicate, but it's something that if you see, you understand. Like,
She's
Awesome. Thank
I know
you.
she's done. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. All right, so let's move on to our first presentation for today. We are going to hear from our student team from Sao Paulo, Brazil. That is, their project title is kind of centered around engaging youth protagonism through safe zones. Their big idea was centered around inclusion, diversity, and community. And their essential question is, how can students be engaged through youth protagonism using safe zones to prevent bullying? And as an action concept, student teams work to create safe zones in 3 schools and are working to use the awards to provide resources to engage students in participating in this really great initiative in their schools. So I'm going to stop sharing, and team from Sao Paulo, you are welcome to share your screen.
Can everybody see it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So shall we start?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Shall we start? Yeah. Okay. Hello. My name is Ed Gomes Jr. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil, and our project is engaging young protagonists through safe zones. Our team, it's me, Evelyn Nascimento, a student from São Paulo too. Evelyn, where are you? Meet yourself, Evelyn. Okay, and
my name is Evelyn Santos Nascimento. I'm 13 years old and I'm from Brazil, São Paulo, and I am a student grader.
And also Aline Musel, she's also a student. Aline?
Vocês estão vendo minha tela?
Yes, okay. Tá bom?
Meu nome é Aline. My name is Aline. I'm 16 years old. I live in Itaberá, City of São Paulo, Brazil.
Okay, so the girls are going to make the presentation by themselves. I will just be here, and the presentation will be in Portuguese and English. Okay, girls? So I give you the floor. Meninas, é com vocês.
Pretendemos trazer safe zones, né, zonas seguras para nossas escolas para ajudar no combate ao bullying, racismo e preconceito, para ajudar na inclusão das pessoas.
We intend to bring safe zones to our schools to help combat bullying, racism, prejudice, and also to help with the inclusion of people.
Os alunos que sofrem bullying, discriminação, eles são ansiosos, estressados e isolados, e pode afetar negativamente o seu bem-estar e o seu desempenho acadêmico. Também podemos levar à diminuição de autoestima e da motivação, dificultando a concentração e o envolvimento dos alunos no aprendizado.
Students who experience bullying and discrimination often feel anxious, stressed, and isolated, which can negatively impact their emotional well-being and academic performance. It can also lead to decreased self-esteem and motivation, making it difficult for students to concentrate and engage in learning.
Houve um aumento da imigração no Brasil devido às guerras, à pandemia e à crise econômica na América Latina. E os estudantes refugiados raramente encontram espaço seguro para afirmar suas identidades. A questão de identidade também preocupa a comunidade LGBTQIA+, que é forçada a se tornar invisível nas escolas e a comunidade negra, que é frequentemente com o branqueamento do sistema educacional brasileiro.
There has been an increase of immigration in Brazil due to war, pandemic, and economical crisis in Latin America, and refugee students rarely can find a safe place to state their identity. The matter of identity also concerns the LGBTQIAP+, community who is forced to become invisible at schools, and the Black community who constantly suffer from whitewashing in Brazilian education system.
Ao abordar a questão de promover a diversidade, inclusão e tolerância nas escolas, podemos criar uma sociedade equitativa e justa, uma vez que os alunos não conseguem expressar suas identidades ou se sentem excluídos da sua comunidade educacional e podem sofrer sofrimento emocional e psicológico, que pode ter efeitos de longo prazo em seu bem-estar mental, limitando as oportunidades futuras e contribuir para desigualdades sistêmicas, além de perpetuar o preconceito e a discriminação.
Addressing this issue and promoting diversity, inclusivity, and tolerance in schools, we can create a more equitable and just society. Since students who are unable to express their identity or feel excluded from their education community may experience emotional and psychological distress, which can have long-term effects on their well-being and mental health, which can limit their future opportunities and contribute to systemic inequalities, as well as perpetuate prejudice and discrimination.
Por outro lado, um sistema educacional inclusivo e que valoriza a diversidade e inclusão pode contribuir para a força de trabalho mais diversificativa e qualificada, o que pode beneficiar a sociedade e a economia.
On the other hand, an inclusive education system that values diversity and inclusivity can commit to a more diverse and skilled workforce, which can benefit society and the economy.
Neste evento ao vivo, nós transmitimos para mais de 10.000 escolas no estado de São Paulo. Nós explicamos o que são safe zones, os seus benefícios, a finalidade e propusemos que as escolas começassem a criar suas safe zones. Os alunos participaram explicando como atuam nesse sentido por meio de grêmio, associações das escolas e programa de acolhimento de alunos novos no início do ano.
In this live event that we broadcast to 10,000 schools in the state of São Paulo, we explain what safe zones are, their benefits and purpose, and then propose that the schools started creating their own. Students participate explaining how they act in that sense through their union or associations at school, and welcome program for new students and the beginning of the year.
Os alunos passam cerca de 9 horas nas escolas brasileiras, mas raramente têm um ambiente seguro e confortável para aprender e socializar. Embora a sala de aula e o pátio possam fornecer algum espaço para os alunos interagirem uns com os outros, nem sempre é um ambiente mais propício e seguro para os alunos se expressarem plenamente e construírem relacionamentos.
Students spend about 9 hours in Brazilian schools, but they rarely have a safe and comfortable environment to learn and socialize in. While the classroom and patio may provide some space for students to interact with each other, it may not always be the most conducive or safe environment for students to fully express themselves and build relationships.
Uma possível solução que propomos é criar um espaço seguro adicional na escola, para uma sala designada ou uma área em comum. Esse espaço pode ser onde os alunos podem sair, conversar, relaxar entre as aulas ou na hora do almoço, e organizar atividades dentro da escola, como clubes, grupos de estudos e programas extracurriculares.
One potential solution proposed is to create additional safe space for students within the school, such as a student room or common area. This could be a space where students can hang out, talk, relax between classes or during lunchtime, and organize activities within the school, such as clubs, study groups, and after-school programs.
Os princípios. Separamos por missão, visão e valores. Missão. A nossa missão é promover a inclusão por meio da diversão, sem deixar ninguém para trás.
Our mission is to promote inclusion through fun and without leaving anyone behind. And our vision is to We envision a safe, welcome, and fun zone for students that promotes inclusion and combats prejudice.
Visão. Vislumbramos um espaço seguro, acolhedor e divertido para os alunos que promovam a inclusão e combatem o preconceito.
Our values is to make friends, combat prejudice, learn in a fun way, and interact with others.
Valores. Fazer amigos, combater preconceitos, aprender de forma divertida e interagir com os outros. Iniciativa. Começamos a elaborar cartazes informativos e apresentar aos alunos a proposta de criação de jogos que celebrem a herança dos nativos africanos e brasileiros.
Our initiative is to create informative poster and present the proposal to students to create games celebrating African and Brazilian native nations' heritage. Do you have any questions?
Okay, very nice, girls. So you're done.
Thank you so much for presenting. There are some questions for you in the chat box.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to come to that at the end of the call, but please go ahead and take a look at the Q&A, and then we'll make sure to respond, give you an opportunity to respond at the end. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Carissa. Thank you, girls.
All right, can everyone see my screen? All right, we'll move on to the next team from India. Their project focus was around fostering nutrition, good health, and well-being. And their big idea was to combat malnutrition. Their essential question was how to provide a nutritious diet to malnourished children of underserved communities in an affordable manner. And they have a action concept that centers around offering or providing a proper diet and recommendations on how to kind of solve this issue happening in their community. So I'm going to stop sharing, and you're welcome to share your screen.
Thank you. So I'll share the screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So greetings from India. I'm Abhinanda Ghosh, and I thank Ciena Solutions Challenge and Digital Promise for providing this opportunity to present my project, fostering nutrition, health, and well-being on behalf of my teammates. So as stated in the introduction, the big idea for our project was to combat malnutrition in our community and empower women financially. As we know, hunger and malnutrition are burning problems in our underserved community, as the majority of our community people lack proper livelihoods and are unemployed. Children and women are suffering from protein deficiency and are undernourished, as a result of which child mortality rates are pretty high. It is a very big concern because in a recent health survey conducted by UNICEF, it is found that children belonging to the age group of 5 to 15 are mostly underweight and suffer from various health issues, which affects their studies, their attendance in schools, and leads to an increase in the dropout rates. Thus, we selected this project addressing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 2, that is good health and well-being, and goal number 3, that is zero hunger, mainly for the school children and women by providing sustainable balanced diet in terms of nutrition and affordability. According to the 2022 Global Hunger Index, India ranks 107th out of 121 countries, which shows that the hunger problem in India is pretty serious. And our district happens to be one of the most backward districts in the country, where most of the people are suffering from poverty and malnutrition. Thus, we participated in this project-based learning and selected the challenge of combating hunger. During the course of our project, we interacted with large sections of our community to get a deeper understanding of the situation. We made surveys with questionnaires in our locality to find out the root causes behind the problem, and also data regarding the food habits, health issues, and livelihoods of the people. We noticed that the steep hike in food products has made most nutritious food items unaffordable for the community people, most of who are still below the poverty line. We further investigated and consulted nutritionists to find out the root causes, and we got the idea that our health is highly dependent upon the services of the local ecosystem for food and well-being. Our staple food is rice, and we found out that if rice is consumed along with certain small indigenous fish species, it can be a very viable solution to the problem of malnutrition. We further conducted certain field surveys to interact with the people living in the remote parts of our district. And during the course of our field study, we came across the members of BST-STI Hub, which works under a local university, and have been working on the project of paddy cum fish culture in the villages. While interacting with them, we got to know some amazing facts about the benefits of this process and decided to initiate the process of ring pisciculture in our own area to meet the challenges of malnutrition. From our interaction with the nutritionists and professors, as well as the local people, we got to know that fishes are really the powerhouse of nutrition, and consumption of small fishes are much more affordable in comparison to consuming bigger carbs. This is a pictographical representation of our investigation data and whatever we have found out through the course of our analysis. We also conducted hands-on experiments in the laboratory to determine the nutritional constitution of fish and found out that they can be very good viable solutions for this problem of malnutrition. We have tabulated our findings in this data that a variety of small fish species are very good dietary sources of vitamin A and D3 and have a lot of minerals like iron, calcium, phosphorus, etc., which are very essential for growth and development as well as dealing with lots of diseases. We have created a website with information of these fish nutrients and an interactive map of our community schools, which will be benefited from this project. Our website will be updated from time to time and will serve the purpose of mass awareness. Our action plan is to work on the database scaffolding that we have developed during the course of our project. We aim to provide fish lunch to students in our school during midday meals for months and watch their improvements. We have found out that the attendance rates in schools have greatly increased after we have implemented this project. However, our school is an aided school and the budget of providing such nutritious meals is not sufficient, as we have to buy everything from the market and that's a pretty expensive endeavor. Thus, we have decided to initiate the ring pisciculture layout, which will be carried out by the senior students and local females, and the production will be used for feeding the school children in the community schools. Moreover, it will serve the purpose of female empowerment because everything will be done by the community women and they will also earn proper livelihoods from it. So once initiated, it will be an instance to the community. We thank Ciena Solutions Project for providing us with the necessary funds so that we can initiate our project and combat malnutrition. These are our team members, and I would like to share certain words from them. So I would be playing this video. Please ensure that you get the sound.
I'm Adriya from India. Our project titled Fostering Nutrition, Well-being and Good Health was aimed at dealing with the widespread malnutrition among children of our community. Due to various socio-economic conditions prevalent in our community, a large section of school-going children remain malnourished, which affect not only their health but also their education in an extremely adverse manner. In order to get more working hands for livelihood, their families are forced to send them to earn some money even in their tender age, which causing them to drop out of their school. In recent years, this rate surged alarmingly, coupled with increase in poverty-stricken and malnourished children.
Hello, I am Srija Mandal from India. I participated in the Ciena Solution Challenge along with my friends and learned so many lessons while working on the project. We have learned so many lessons scientific apparatus for carrying on hands-on experiment in lab. Thank you.
This is an interactive map that we have created, and these are the main schools which will be benefiting directly from our project. And we hope that in the coming time, we can extend the base of the project to include more schools in our community, and it will be a good change in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. For the audience members, please remember to share any questions that you have in the Q&A function. We do have that available, so I wanted to just plug that in. So we will move on to our next team from Nigeria. Their big idea was around conserving energy. Essential question is, what actions can the young ones take to conserve energy and promote a healthy environment? And their action concept was to create an eco-friendly reading lamp to help growing minds in low-income communities to read in the darkness depth of the night. And so I am going to stop sharing my screen and allow the student team from Nigeria to present. Looks like you're on mute.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Olusegun Adeniyi, and these are my student team, and they are going to mention their name in the course of their presentation. So I'm going to start sharing our screen right now. So I'm sharing our screen now. Okay, so we are going to start now.
My name is Zipemi. Today we're here to present the impact our community to reduce our carbon footprint of
Eco-friendly lab. What actions can the young ones take to conserve energy and promote healthy environments? We have created an eco-friendly reading lab to help growing minds in low-income communities cultivate the habits of reading at any time of the day. The eco-friendly reading lab is not only a solution to poor power supply, but it's also easy to carry, very affordable, and versatile. It also conserves energy, promotes healthy environments, and reduces greenhouse gas emissions. And our first invention was donated to a schoolgirl in the Abuja community in commemoration of the International Day. And we have plans to create more of this invention with like-minded organizations to help growing minds in local communities to read as things. Thanks.
Tree planting initiative to still. What actions can our young ones take in order to ensure the survival of our country? About half of the land of Nigeria was once covered with grassland forests. But of today, Nigeria has lost 96% of its forest towards forests. This is both alarming and this is the reason we have embarked on a tree planting initiative to share our concerns with the environment in order to articulate the significance of significant forest restriction towards getting global and to ensure the advocacy of students' life tree planting. The success of our tree planting initiative was that many Nigerians start planting trees. So we personally have planted trees primarily following United Nations International Day of Forests, International Mother Earth Day, and as you can see, parents are here supporting reforestation. Not only that, students too are also here. You see parents advocating with their fellow children for tree planting. We also see teachers advocating for it too. Here we see parents, teachers, and also students aiding the plantation of trees. They also aid in Earth Day. Here we see the parents celebrating the trees that have been planted. And here too, you can see children carrying potted plants around so they can plant it for Earth Day 2022. And a year later, they grew into these bountiful trees, which were all the pictures. Thank you. Stop ocean plastic pollution. What are the young ones used to solve the issue of ocean plastic pollution? From our research, we've been shocking discoveries that most of plastic we use, if not properly disposed, ends up in the ocean and touches the oceans forever. According to the United Nations, at least 800 species suffer from marine events, and as much as 80% of that data is plastic. And if it continues, we'll end up having more plastic than fish in the ocean by 20. Works to promote protection and conservation of animals in the water. We also displayed how properly disposed plastic and encourage recycling. We also took part in beach cleanup days and took care. Thank you. Peace education through creative education. How can we propagate peace through education? Now, peace education promotes, we have really different projects that promote coexistence and celebrate representation. Today, like every other day, is the International Day of Peace, of Living in Peace, which is May 2nd, 2020. So I wish all YouthMADE a happy International Day of Living in Peace. And I, as a student, encourage other students to enter a curriculum and be part of the global scholarship. Thank you. The proposed time for this. How can we reduce the numbers of students and then my school has 3 feet of buses, and because of this, we have dozens of expired tires which were ended up recycled and put it in metal design. Remember tire that can create a lot of health safety problems. When tire product in the environment was expired for long term, they can release chemical into the air, ground water that alters the ecosystem. That dog often becomes really rough or very but we have created basic threats out of this.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. That is our little presentation. And thank you for listening. From Lagos, Nigeria, Taylor British International School, Lagos, Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing your presentation with us. That was a great video. So we have one more team that we are ready to present. It looks like.
Thank you very much.
If you have any questions for the Nigeria team, please make sure to ask them in the Q&A function of the presentation. And I will share my screen and introduce our final team. So we have our final team from Uganda that will be presenting on climate change action. And their essential question was, how has man impacted climate change? Their project is around trying to identify the climate change issue. And their students from this team took the initiative of designing web portals to create awareness about the impact of climate change. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And our Uganda team, you are welcome to present.
Hello everyone, this is our team from Uganda. Can we? So we have a short presentation. Let's try to share our screen. So I'm going to invite my students to come and present. So yeah, we'll start from here. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Alita and I'll be reading through the first slide. I was like, that's the question. What challenge does your project address? Our project aspires to address the challenge of climate change, which is the major concern worldwide. Climate change has innumerable effects, including floods, global warming, droughts, landslides, and pollution. And these cause problems to the people, communities, countries, and the whole planet. We believe that through creating awareness about the effects of climate change, we are on the right path to turn around the greatest threat of our
So that's our first slide.
Hello everyone. The question is, why did your team select this topic or challenge? Climate change is a global initiative, and every day in our daily lives, we are affected by its impact on people, communities, and nations. We feel little has been done to stem the deteriorating effects of climate change that are brought about by our own making. The evidence is the impacts of climate change on different sectors of society are interrelated. Drought can harm food production and human health. Flooding can lead to disease spread and damages to ecosystems and infrastructure. Human health issues can increase mortality, impact food availability, and limit worker productivity. Climate change impacts are seen throughout every aspect of the world we live in. The projections of a climate change impacted future are not inevitable. Many of the problems are known to us now, and ongoing research continues to provide new ones. However, I believe there is still time to avoid the most negative of outcomes by limiting warming and reducing emissions to zero as quickly as possible. Investment in new technology and infrastructure, planting more trees. All the above facts are the reasons for why we need to tackle climate change. Through Agenda, related files from Uganda. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Crystal. So I'm going to talk about the question of how is it a real world problem or concern. Climate change is a very big problem to the world because whether you're young or old, you feel its impact. However, you are its effects may or differ at the dangers it poses the same. In the news today, we hear many countries across the globe are being affected by climate change in our country. Landslides affect people in the eastern Uganda, floods during the rainy season in Kasese, the Australian fires due to the high temperatures. Human and wild animals face new challenges for survival because of the climate change. More frequent and intense drought, storms, heat waves, rising temperatures, melting glaciers, and warming oceans can directly harm animals, destroy the places where they live, cause havoc on people's livelihoods and communities.
Hello everyone, my name is Ciena Arabella. So we researched about the investigation. Climate change refers to a long-term shift in temperatures and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, but since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to the burning of fossil fuels, which produces heat-trapping gases. Causes of climate change, we have cutting down of trees to create farms or pastures, or the other reasons causes emissions since trees when they are cut down. Number 2, we have manufacturing of goods. Number 3, we have generating electricity and heat by burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas. causes a large chunk of global emissions. Mostly electricity is produced for fossil fuels. Only about a quarter comes from wind, solar, and other renewable sources. Thank you.
And these are the outcomes from our research, solutions that we can put into practice to help save the planet. Number one, educate yourself and others. The importance of educating others about climate change cannot be overstated in our modern society. There are many platforms for us to utilize that can allow us to spread our message easily, whether you use word of mouth or social media. There are always ways to educate others on what climate change is doing to our planet. You can help protect the planet by educating others about the dangers of climate change and how to act against it. Number two, encourage the use of renewable energies. Focusing your efforts to spread awareness about renewable energy is the best way to create a positive impact in our community. By informing others about how renewable energy is better than utilizing fossil fuels, you will say others into investigating in the idea. Number three, restore nature to absorb more carbon. The natural world is very good at cleaning up our emissions, but we need to look after it. Planting trees in the right places or giving land back to nature through rewilding schemes is a good place to start. This is because photosynthesizing plants draw down carbon dioxide as they grow, locking it away in soils. Number four, reduce how much people consume. Our transport, fashion, food, and other lifestyle choices all have different effects on the climate. This is often by design. Fashion and technology companies, for example, will release far more products than are realistically needed. But while reducing consumption of these products may be hard, it's mostly certainly worth it. Reducing overall consumption in more wealthy countries can help plus less strain on the planet. Thank you.
So we have been on the theory part. Now let's go to the web portals that we designed. We designed different web portals. This is the first one.
Hello everyone, my name is Solomon. So I'm going to present about climate change. Climate change refers to a long-time shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. The causes of climate change. Deforestation, the effects of climate change, we have drought, increased storms, high temperatures, drought. Factors that increase climate change, we have temperature, humidity, precipitation, winds and ocean currents, solar radiation, topography, latitude and level emission. So our website has different like our article. So as you can see, our article was designed by Margaret.
Just the thing, website has different types like
So here we have poems.
This is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. If it's possible, team in Uganda, would you be able to share this link in the chat box so folks can view it?
We are working on it.
Great. We actually have to move on. Thank you so much for sharing your presentation with us. We'd love to take an opportunity for the audience to ask you any questions. So audience, if you have any questions, or any of your co-panelists, if you have questions for the team in Uganda, please share them in the Q&A. So we're gonna take the next 10 minutes or so to get some feedback from each of the panelists. Can everyone see my screen? Great. So we would love to have some discussions between each of the panelists. We see that there's lots of questions in the Q&A function, and we have really enjoyed listening to everyone's presentation. So any teams, any panelists, this is an opportunity for you to come off mute and ask any questions about your co-panelist projects. So I'll stop talking and I'll give you all the stage. It looks like we also have a few questions in the Q&A. Jess, would you want to share a couple of questions for, looks like we have a couple of questions for the first team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course we do. We did have some questions come in while y'all were presenting.
Okay, hello, shall I start the questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, with the grant, we're going to, we are making an action since last year with the other grant. We're starting recording the actions of the students, and there's a YouTube channel that we have actually have the app, Centro de Medias, that we have some access. There are 1,000. Actually, the app has 1 million downloads, and that we can share classes, we can share the actions. So we're going to buy a camera for this to record the actions in the schools, and some board games to the students to have there. So it must be an attractive place. The safe zones must be an attractive place, so people go there to spend some time. And of course, if you don't have anything to do there, people won't go to the safe zone. So we plan to buy some games so they can interact, and a 3D printer so they can create their own games. So they will create their own games using, because there is also a whitewashing in board games. We don't celebrate Black culture in games. For example, it's very, if I ask you, oh, tell me a white character for a video game, everybody knows. But tell me a black character in a video game and a board game, nobody knows. So we want to change this culture and bring protagonism to the Afro-Brazilian characters. Sorry. Also, there's a question from Sarah. It's possible to create safe zones without changing the mindset of people. By answering this question, I'm making another question to you, because I think the safe zones, we plan to start like a room in a school, but then also the school should become the whole safe zone. That's the idea. Like we had some very tragic back to the last month that we had school shootings in Brazil, and it's not something that happens a lot. And you were wondering that if this kind of action, like if these people that it was due to bullying that people start doing this kind of violence. So if people felt safe, or if people felt welcomed at school, so probably this kind of things wouldn't be happening so much. So we plan that this mindset of the safe zone is not only a room, but then becomes the school, and then can become as a society and change the mindsets of society. And making this question about the mindset of society, I was saying that there's a large number of the addressing of junk foods and advertising of junk foods, and so this issue by Abhinanda and the team on India. They address it as a global problem, and people usually choose soda and processed products instead of fruit and meat. And also people always prefer food stored in plastic products. That was addressed by the team of Lagos, Nigeria. And consumption is also addressed by the team of Uganda. So what I can see that the consumption and the way of the media works seems to be the problem there. And I would like to ask my colleagues and ask myself now, how can we address this problem, like to change this kind of, it seems like the enemy, but it's the way that advertising and the media seems to be the main adversary in this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that the media and the way that sort of all of these products have in common is an opportunity to share and campaign about and really provide awareness to some of the issues that are happening. Thank you so much for your feedback, Ed. It looks like we had another question directed to the Nigeria team. Jess, do you want to share that question?
So we do have one that came in a little earlier, and this is from Sahakosh. Apologies if I mispronounced that. But the question for Team Nigeria is, they first of all, gave y'all a compliment. You did a really great job. And what is the source of energy for your eco-friendly reading lamp? And that is for Team Nigeria.
Okay, so good day, everyone. My name is Olamide, and I'll be talking about the question, what was our source of energy for the eco-friendly reading lamp? And we used a rechargeable bulb as a source of energy. Thank you.
And then they also sent a follow-up question. I'm just seeing there's two of them. There's one in the chat as well. Can we convert this lamp to make it solar chargeable is the next question.
So that's what we're currently working on right now. We're researching more on it, and we've not yet gotten to that stage yet. So
great, and we can't wait to see the progress though. And we have a few minutes left, Carissa, so I'm not sure if we want to give another opportunity for a question. If not, we can just close it off.
Yeah, are there any questions from each of the students? We can leave an opportunity for any of the students to share questions or feedback about any of the other projects that you heard about.
Sorry, we have a question for Brazil. So one of them want to ask a question.
How do you intend to make the safe zone stay a safe zone? Because at the end of the day, it's still going to be a gathering of students. Is there any activity you plan on promoting in that particular place? Thank you.
Ed, I think you might be on mute.
Yeah, I didn't get the last 4 words of the question.
The question again.
Tend to make the safe zone remain a safe zone, because at the end of the day, it's still going to be a gathering of students in a particular area. Is there any activity you tend to promote in this particular area?
Okay, you mean the outside the area, outside the safe zone, you mean? Yeah,
in the safe zone, like after it's created or something, is there any activity you plan on promoting in it? Or is it just going to be left to the students to make it a safe zone?
I know we, as we said, that they are going to create some games, for example, to play in the safe zone, so the games can address the problems they are going through. And there are some activities that are planned. We think that in the school sometimes like there are the physical activities, like we want to embrace people that sometimes they are already outside of the activities because of let's say, oh, what about sports? There are active sports abilities. There are clubs for sports, but there aren't any kind of places for people who might feel excluded, like people that are not from that country, the immigrants, people who don't speak the language, or people who can not perform in sports. So the activities should be like indoor activities that would be inside the safe zone. I don't know if that's the question that you had.
Okay.
Thank
Am
you.
I audible? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. As per feedback,
Susmita, I'm not sure if, I think it sounds like you might be trying to speak, but we can't really hear you. You might.
Okay, can we say something?
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to know if you are all aware that today is International Day of celebrating International Day of living together in peace. Because part of what we celebrate is people living together in peace. That is SDG 16 that we have right here. So I just want to communicate this to everyone that today is International Day of living together in peace. And I just want to appreciate this gathering today, that we are all coming together to celebrate creativity, to celebrate sustainable development goals. And I just want to say that we should also include SDG 16 in whatever we are doing. That it is very important that we all stay living together in peace. It is very important. So it's celebrated every May 16th of every year. And it's also important that we happen to be having this conversation on a day like that. And we really need to celebrate it. So my students are going to echo Happy International Day of Living Together in Peace. So can we say that now?
Happy International Day of
Peace to everyone. Peace, peace, one love, one love. Peace,
Thank you
peace
so
be
much
unto
for
you,
that.
everyone.
Yes, thank you so much for that reminder. That's how timely it is to have a day like today where we're celebrating the International Day of Peace and also talking about how to live in a more just and sustainable world. So thank you so much. And we really appreciate everyone participating and really to you students, you all are the creators and the makers of this work. And we're just a vessel so you can amplify your work. So we're really grateful for you all and happy that you all found some time to share your work with each other. So we are a bit over, but I think it was necessary to the conversation. So before we close out today, Jess is going to share a couple of reminders where we can continue to have these very important conversations, and we'll give you a quick announcement.
Yeah, thank you, Carissa. And thank you all once again for joining us. I know we're over time, so I'll make this really brief, and we'll also give you more opportunities to connect with our next student panels coming up in about an hour. So I wanted to promote the EdCamp. So during the YouthMADE Festival, we'll be having an EdCamp this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you haven't attended an EdCamp before, it's free and open to all educators. And this EdCamp specifically will be an awesome opportunity to just continue the YouthMADE Festival to discuss supporting youth creativity and innovation. So we would love to have y'all join us, and you can register with the link that I'm about to put in the chat. And again, this is a free event for educators by educators. And you're welcome to share this with other educators, colleagues, or anyone else who would want to attend this awesome opportunity. And we hope to see you there. I just put the link in the chat as well. And
thank you for sharing.
Oh, someone have something to say?
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing that. Though
Yeah.
I want my teachers, educators in my school to be part of it. Thank you.
Yeah. And this is just a quick reminder for the community awards, and we will definitely follow up with our panelists and our educators about this. So we are giving community awards after the festival. That means that any of the students who participate during the YouthMADE Festival, which was all our wonderful panelists today, you will be eligible to receive an award if you receive kudos from your attendees. So I'm gonna also go ahead and share that link in the chat. It is a form that you filled out, and you don't have to fill it out right now. You have until the end of the festival to fill out this form. You give kudos to any of the teams that present, and depending on the amount of kudos that your team receives, we'll look at that towards the end of the festival and you'll receive the community award. So again, we'll follow up with y'all and share this form again, but feel free to use the link now and share it with folks. And if you're attending right now and want to support someone, you can also fill out the form. And we're pretty much going to wrap it up now. And again, we're going to invite y'all to our next panel that's going to happen shortly. So again, thank y'all again for attending the student panel discussion. We wish we could have more time. There's so many wonderful questions that we weren't able to address, but for sure, come to the Ed Camp or come to the additional panel discussions to continue the conversation. So our next student team is going to be from Brazil, Republic of Georgia, and the United States at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So we are also going to put those links in the chat for the next student panel. Y'all are invited to join. You're also welcome to share any highlights of today's festival using the hashtag Ciena Challenge and hashtag YouthMADE. And you can also follow us on our brand new Instagram at YouthMADE Festival as well. Y'all are welcome to tag us, pretty much ping us, use our hashtag, and we'll see if we can share your events on our Instagram page. And I'm going to pass it off to Carissa to any further announcements we want to wrap up for today. Thank y'all so much.
So if you enjoy our presentation, please give us kudos.
Yes, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. That's all for the announcements, and we're looking forward to seeing the next few panelists during the YouthMADE Festival. So thank you again for sticking it out with us, and we hope to see you soon in the next panel.